What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today got a new video. We're gonna be swapping out turbos. So this is a BNR S4v3. So in my car currently, as some of you know, I have the S4v1. So what's with the change? Well, my S4v1 got a couple of chips, fins, and a little bit of shaft play. So instead of just send it in for a rebuild. I found a friend of mine who had this V3 for sale, and it gives me no downtime. I could just swap and go, and you get a upgrade in the performance. As you can see, the V1 doesn't have this surge compressor here in the middle, and the compressor housing, the inlet, is bigger on the V3. It's 3.5 as opposed to 3.3 inches. So it makes a little bit more power and it spools a bit faster. So definitely some noticeable differences. It's not going to be like an install video, but just show a couple of steps, just for a little content. And yeah, man, we'll do that and give it a test run, see how things go. All right, so let's do it. So let's start by removing the MAV, the intake, and then we'll move on to the intercooler piping there, and so we can free up the turbo. Gotta take out the battery. So show y'all what we're looking at here. There's a little turbo ski down there. So the turbo bolts there. Luckily for me, I got the V-band downpipe. Okay, so batteries out, intake off. Nice little 3.5. See, that turbo might have been toasted, man. Look, it's boiling there. So this turbo might have been really finished up. So now we're gonna clean this part out. I might have to remove the EGR, probably. I need to do an EGR delete actually, but I don't have the EGR today, so that's not on the agenda. Okay, you use that tool here. 2-sensor tool to remove the O2 sensor. So O2 sensor's out. Okay, give it a clean up, wipe it off a little bit. And my ends is kind of chewed up, but that's another story. Right there. Alright, now we're gonna take off the V-band off the downpipe. Gotta be careful, you don't lose that screw. And that's a pain. But I got another V-band just in case. But there we go. So I got the screw from the V-band. Gloves are retort. People gloves. Let's put this on so we don't lose it. Okay, so focus there. The V-band is off. So now we're going to go work on the downpipe. I gotta clean the lens a little bit, it's a little fuzzy, but yeah, now we're gonna get the downpipe. Well, we don't necessarily have to get them off, but I'm gonna reuse the flange. So I ordered a new one, but it didn't come yet, so I ain't got time waiting. So we're just gonna do that, and then we're gonna work on the manifold. Get this thing out of here. So we're gonna get the last downpipe bolt there. All right. Just gonna. Usually, if I was just keeping the same turbo, I would have to remove this flange. But being that I'm swapping turbos, I need to take off bolts. Then basically, I need the downpipe flange, so that's why I'm taking it off. But I loosen it up so it should be coming off. Get it out of the way. Then we start working on the manifold. Okay, so the flange is off. The gasket still looks okay. So yeah, we should be able to reuse the gasket, but I bought a new one anyway, so it doesn't even matter. So, yep. Okay, so all the manifold bolts are off now. Had to take off the EGR too. That's how you get to the other bolts on the side. So now we're gonna have to work on the oil line. Can you focus there? Trying to get to the return line on the turbo. That's like the hardest part of the job, man. So I'm gonna work on that to get that out, and then the turbo is gonna come out with the manifold. So as you guys can see, I'm trying to pull out the bolt for the turbo. Here, I'm trying to get a good angle. It's hard to see my hand. See? So right now I'm pulling out one. Get one out. So taking them out isn't the hard part. The hard part is when you want to put it back. But I think I found a little trick that I saw. I'm gonna try it out. And it's not even putting it back. It's when you're trying to line up the gasket. So I might have found a little trick. So we'll see if it worked. But yeah, so one bolt is out, as you can see. I'm gonna get the next one out. Then this stuff is coming out. Okay, just so you guys can see how we doing the bottom bolt here. Get your little 8 and just slowly turn until your heart's content. No rush, you know. Just turn. That's it. See, it's just coming loose. This is tight, man. This big old stinking transfer case in the way. But you want that all-wheel drive. That's what we got to deal with. But I just wanted to show you guys how you get to the bolt at the bottom. If you can't get it, you can do it from the top, but it's a little easy just to come from the bottom. Slide the wrench in there and just mess around with it. Okay, so both oil return lines out. Well, both bolts out. So we could put that over here. And now turbo everything should be able to come out now. Okay, so there's my full race. Yeah. This is my BNR S4v1. So as you look at the turbine blades, they're a little, you know, rough around the edges. See? Let's see. The blade, the fins are chipped a bit. Who the hell knows where that metal went? Hopefully not in the wrong place. Might be a little shaft plate too. Okay, let's look at a comparison. So V3, V1. So about the same. Like I said, the inlet on the compressor housing is bigger on the V3. V1 so smaller, 3 inches to 3.5. And it looks like even the V3 is a little bit bigger as far as the whole housing itself. That's my eyes are deceiving me, I don't know. But yeah, so it's like a side by side for people that are wondering the difference between the two. Okay, here's a tip. So when reinstalling the oil line, what you do is you put a little like a Teflon tape, wrap it around the hole, like in the holes, and put it through. That way that holds the gasket in place, as you can see. So you see, you put it through the way the bolt would go, and then just be careful because it could rip. Then you can have to do it all over again. But you do that, be careful, put it in the right way, and it keeps the gasket in place. Because that's what's hard about putting the oil line back on, is trying to keep the gasket in line. So you put that Teflon tape on there, and then it'll just keep it in line. That way you can thread the bolts, and then it makes the job a lot easier, trust me. So yeah, that was just a little tip. So put the manifold and the turbo back in. It's not tight, just lined up. Got my new Edge Auto Sport bolts, yay. And actually ATP bolts, not edge autos for it, but just put on to see how they fit up. So they're fitting up okay. Just gotta then reattach the downpipe and everything else, intake and the lines, and that's it. So like I said, the hardest part was the gaskets, the oil line or return line. That's the hardest part. Once you get that, everything else is cake. Put this on, put the intake on, battery back in, EGR back on, and then basically that's it, man. Everything else is in, turbos in. Man, look at them nuts, man. Looks is blingy, 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 blingy nuts, man. Okay, guys, we are live. Started up the car. That's the smoke, that's from all the PD blast and all that stuff. That's the new hose I put on. So see how that goes. DJ special. I don't like that cooler hose. I gotta put that in. That cooler hose in some more. Getting late. I just want to see how the car was doing. So yeah. I got that stuff burning off. I gotta do a lot of coolant doing this. I gotta put some more coolant in there. So I'll start doing that to leave the system out. And yeah, man. So far everything sounds okay. I buttoned everything up. So we'll see what happens. But yeah, thanks for checking the channel out. Hope you enjoyed the video. I'm gonna do a driving video, you know, seeing my thoughts on the S4v1 and seeing how it